There's two more fabrics to consider. The process is different for reverse stockinette and for garter. Let's talk about reverse stockinette. The great thing about reverse stockinette is it's the reverse, and the grafting process is the same. Look at the stitches, they tell you what to do. I need to start with a purl, purl, slip, knit, and on the back then it becomes, look at the stitch, it's a knit. So I go knit, slip, purl. It's as simple as that. It's reverse stockinette. You're reversing the stitches, you're reversing the steps, and again look at them. Purl, slip, knit. The first step is the stitch as it presents. So this is presenting as a knit, knit, slip, purl. And that's the trick for reverse stockinette. Straightforward. Okay. Use what we've learned then for garter stitch. With garter stitch, remember the rule is the stitches tell you what you need. If you're in stockinette stitch or reverse stockinette stitch, you are knitting knits and purling purls, right? In the case of garter stitch, you're doing the opposite. You're knitting over purls. So in this case, step number one, line your fabric up properly. You need to line it up so you're seeing purl bumps on both sides. You see how the purl bump is right up against the needle on both sides? And now they both need a knit stitch to sit between them. And how do we make a knit stitch? We go knit, slip, there's your setup again, purl, right? There's always that setup, always, always, always. And here, knit, slip, purl. And yes, it's always messy as you're doing it, always. There is no way to make this process look tidy. It's the omelette of knitting, I think. So let's make a knit stitch. Knit, slip off, and purl. And on this side, we also need a knit stitch because there's a purl showing. Knit, slip off, and purl. So what I'm doing here, other than making a mess with my tangly yarn, is I'm letting the stitches tell me what they need. If I'm working in garter stitch, if I've got a purl bump showing, I need to create a knit, and to do that, it's knit, slip off, and purl. And I'm seeing a bump here, so again, I need a knit stitch, knit, slip off, and purl. And what that does is that creates the stitches I need. A couple more stitches. Again, we're creating knits on this side, so it's knit, slip off, and purl. And here's the difference. On the back, we're also creating knit stitches. Very messy, it always is. So again, I need a knit here, so it's knit, slip off, and purl. So this one's easy. It's the same step on both sides. Knit, slip off, and purl. And on the back, how does it go? It goes knit, slip off, and purl. And as before, go through, once you've got a couple of stitches worked, created, go through and tidy it up. And this looks even messier than the stockinette version, unbelievably. But once we tidy it, you'll see what's happened. Okay. The way the garter stitch fabric is constructed, you've actually got 2 half knit stitches between 2 purl ridges. And with this, we've created 2 half knit stitches by creating a knit on the front and a knit on the back between those 2 purl ridges. So that's how garter stitch works. And 2 pieces of advice: always tidy it up as you go after 3 or 4 stitches, make sure it looks even. And if you're uncertain, because it's A, pretty easy to mess up, and B, pretty challenging to fix, thread a lifeline through your stitches before you try it. And then that way, if it doesn't quite work out, you can easily undo it and start again.